Alrighty, welcome into the Brand Partial Show. So yeah, NFL draft less than 2 days away, and so I wanted to go over my top five prospects that I have for this NFL draft. Starting with number five. It was interesting. I was listening to Todd McShay's mock draft earlier, and he had from what he's hearing from NFL people, he had a similar top five. So here's my top five: Travis Hunter, number five; Cam Ward for Miami, number four; Ashton Jenney, number three; Mason Graham, number two; and Abdul Carter, number one. The discussion with Travis Hunter, is he going to be a corner? Is he going to be a wide receiver in the NFL? I think, honestly, Travis Hunter could do both, but I think he's a better wide receiver. At least in my opinion. But yeah, it's interesting. I feel like I'm kind of in the lesser group, if you will. I guess I'm in the minority. A lot of people think Travis Hunter is going to be a corner in the NFL. So yeah, but I think I see Travis Hunter more as a wide receiver. And then Cam Ward at four. Yeah, Cam Ward. Lots to like about Cam Ward. I was actually surprised I would have him this high when I kind of graded it out, but Cam Ward, a lot to like. Big guy, moves around well. So there's definitely a lot of things to like about Cam Ward. Ashton Jenney, number three. Yeah, Ashton Jenney, probably one of the best running back prospects coming out in several years. And then Mason Graham, number two. Yeah, Mason Graham. I watched a lot of Mason Graham, and I kind of worried that I was scouting him through the maize and blue lens, being a Michigan fan. But I mean, when you go back and watch the tape, and it's kind of different watching him on TV. When you go back and watch the tape, the strength this guy has, the leverage he plays, the instincts, just the amount of plays this guy makes is phenomenal. So I really like Mason Graham, the D tackle out of Michigan. He comes in my number two player, and then Abdul Carter, number one. Kind of the opposite thing. From what I had seen on TV, I wasn't as high on Abdul Carter, but when you dive into the tape, the lateral movement, the recklessness to take on blocks, tracking down ball carriers, and then the acceleration when he closes in on ball carriers, quarterbacks, running backs. That's what really stood out to me. Abdul Carter just can really accelerate and close on ball carriers. So, yeah, Abdul Carter, phenomenal prospect, was my highest graded player, and he also comes in my number one player. Typically, I rank my guys by where their grade is, but yeah, with Abdul Carter, he is a case of my highest graded player, and also my highest graded player, and also my the guy I would rank number one as my top player in this NFL draft. Yeah, a lot of people talk about there's not a lot of blue chip talent in this draft. I would agree with that. Abdul Carter, Mason Graham. I think Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, Genty, those are definitely three blue chip guys. It's interesting. I don't see a lot of people really putting their. The thing I don't understand, I guess the thing I kind of question with other NFL draft analysts and media is they'll really like a guy, but they won't rank him but they won't put him as the top guy, or they won't move him higher. Like, for example, I saw a draft analyst today. He really liked Ashton Jenney, clear-cut number one, but he had him as his 14th ranked player. So I guess maybe he likes the 13 guys ahead of him just that much as well. But it kind of just poses the question: if you like the guy that much, then really put your fist down and put him that high. Some other guys I love: Shamar Stewart. Shamar Stewart. I mean, you're really having a lot of the conversations are going to be how this guy projects. Phenomenal athlete, super strong, physical, dominant player. Lack of production obviously is a conversation with Shamar Stewart, but where does he play? Or I mean, how does he in the NFL? Do we see a rise in production? a rise, not only just a rise in production, but we see a rise in production. We see a development of pass rush moves and an ability for him to finish some plays too. That was the other thing people talked about with Shamar Stewart. Plays where he just couldn't quite get the sack, couldn't quite get the tackle. Do we see some of that cleaned up, and does he get some of the coaching where he can really take another step in the NFL? So that's kind of the question with Shamar Stewart. But I mean, almost 270 pounds, 4'5", 40. A lot of things to like about Shamar Stewart. Tyler Warren to the Penn State. I was surprised. Tyler Warren. Now, here would be my top 10. Now, I kind of have to be careful because I haven't watched a ton of guys in depth. But just going down the consensus board, starting with the top guy and then following it down. My top, I guess, 12 right here would be Abdul Carter 1, Mason Graham 2, Ashton Jenney 3, Cam Ward 4, Hunter 5, Travis Hunter 5, Shadur Sanders 6, Will Campbell 7, Tyler Warren 8, Armand Membu 9, Will Johnson 10, Jalen Walker 11, and then excuse me, how am I forgetting his name? Tatara McMillan. Shoot, why? I've been saying it right. I've been saying it right forever. Now I'm getting it wrong. But yeah, McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona. And Warren comes at my number 8 player. I thought might be higher on Tyler Warren. It's interesting with Tyler Warren. Things that stood out watching his tape. I mean, plays a little bit casual, but what I mean by, like, this can be an issue. I think this has gotten Kyler Murray in trouble, playing a little bit too casually. You want to see some guys, sometimes you want to see more of a sense of urgency, but with Tyler Warren, to me, I think this kind of backs up what a good football player he is playing catch, because there's times most of the time it doesn't seem like he's coming off the line of scrimmage with a lot of sense of urgency, but I think it's just because he has that utter confidence he's going to get open. And then Warren is just incredible at coming down with contested catches. Pretty solid blocker. He's not going to wow you away as a blocker, but he can get in front of a guy. He's solid at sustaining blocks, especially as a run blocker. So yeah, Warren's a good player. I see why a lot of people are really high on Tyler Warren's game, and just had some big games and big moments. He had a really nice game, really good game in the USC game, really played well in the Boise State game. There was Heisman buzz for Tyler Warren. He would take direct snaps. So, yeah, Tyler Warren's one of the – I keep hearing this a lot about this draft class, is a lot of people are kind of giving guys the label of safe. You're hearing safe, high floor, solid starter. You're hearing those terms being thrown out with guys in this draft class. I think that's really I think those are words that go hand in hand with Tyler Warren in this draft, because you have to be careful, because we're not going to see a guy come into the league at tight end like Brock Bowers every year. But is he going to be will he ever develop into, will he have the rookie season Brock Bowers had, or will he ever develop into Travis Kelce? Will he ever become Rob Gronkowski? Will he ever become an all-time great tight end? Maybe not. But is he going to be a guy who maybe similar to Jason Witten? I haven't heard that comparison, but just a guy who, just a rock-solid tight end, and a guy who maybe is not going to be a consistent elite difference maker on a game in and game out basis, but he's a guy who he's just going to be rock solid. He's going to contribute, and yeah, those contested, he will have at least a handful or at least a couple of those highlight contested catches, and you will see him really. There will be a couple highlights of him running over a guy, or on a given play breaking a couple tackles and having a really nice run after the catch reception. So that's what I'm really feeling with Tyler Warren. So let's talk. We'll talk about Armand Membu, from the offensive tackle from Missouri. Membu just a pretty. I think some people would disagree with me, but at least in my opinion, he's a pretty smooth player. And kind of like what I was just talking about with Tyler Warren, I think Membu's a guy he may not start right away, but I think he's got solid starter written him all over him in the NFL because I mean, I'm looking. I'll go to his page here. With Membu, I gave him good grades for just about everything. Good, solid, very good. So yeah, I think based on the grades I was giving Armand Membu, this guy should, in the right system with the right coaches, and if he's going to put in the work, this guy will be a really rock solid starting offensive tackle in the NFL. So that's kind of my take. That's what I'm feeling with. That's what I'm feeling with Armand Membu. Will Johnson too. Will Johnson, the corner from Michigan. I like Will Johnson a lot. It's a lot of rumors of he hasn't put out a 40-yard dash, right? Chose not to run the 40-yard dash at the combine. Chose not to run his 40-yard dash at the Michigan. I chose not to work out, it sounds like, at the Michigan Pro Day, and then had a private workout and chose not to run the 40 at the private workout as well. So the questions with Will Johnson is that 40 time, like, since he's not running it, I don't know. I guess teams can't assume that it's a slow time, but I think teams can question enough or be like, okay, if this guy does run a 4.5, 4.6, do we really have to go back and reevaluate him and reevaluate him overall as a player and reevaluate where we should take him in the draft? I think those are questions that teams probably are going to have to ask with Will Johnson. So it's interesting. But yeah, I want to pull up. So we'll kind of go off. Look at Pro Football Focus's big board. So they have Travis Hunter number 1, Abdul Carter number 2, Jenny number 3, Tedoroa McMillan number 4, Mason Graham 5, Okiebo 6, Malachi Starks number 8, Membu number 9. They got Mike Green number 10, Jahad A. Barron number 11. Yeah, some other guys I have. Jahad A. Barron is tough for me because it's like Chris Sims was talking about with Jahad A. Barron. I kind of fall into I'm more into taking a corner. I'm more into having a corner that can cover on the outside, play man to man. You go lock a guy down. I guess Brian Branch is kind of making, like people have talked about Brian Branch and Cooper DeJean are making a strong case for Jahad A. Barron to go high in this draft because those guys kind of play in nickel, safety, wherever, close to the line of scrimmage at times. Guys like that are kind of those in-betweeners, if you will. Guys like you've seen, those guys can have success now in the NFL, right? You know, Branch, Cooper DeJean. So I guess that's you're kind of getting those vibes with Jahad A. Those guys are kind of giving Jahad A. Barron a boost and giving people hope and giving people reassurance that you can take a guy that high. Yeah, I mean, some of the biggest storylines in this draft, where Shedeur Sanders goes. It's interesting this year. I've kind of changed my mind. I've kind of changed my opinion. I used to be, if I did, I used to really push quarterbacks. It's It's interesting. Dan Patrick and Mel Kiper were having this discussion. They were having this discussion of, do you? It sounds like Dan Patrick was kind of leaning towards taking a quarterback first overall, right? Dan Patrick was in the boat of taking a guy like Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter number one, and Mel Kiper kind of pushed back and he said, "No, well, the Titans, getting a quarterback's important. If you don't have a quarterback, then you're kind of, you kind of reeling, you're kind of searching." So yeah, Mel Kiper made that point, and I kind of agreed with Mel Kiper. Like the Tennessee Titans, like if they go Abdul Carter, if they go Travis Hunter, could that really work out big time for them? Could that be beneficial for them? Sure, but getting a quarter, I've kind of shifted towards. I used to be a big-time best player available. I think Cam Ward, you can argue he's not the best player available at that time, picking number one from the Titans, but I've kind of shifted, I guess my philosophy, like I would say he is the pick, but I've kind of shifted my philosophy to, in the NFL draft, you want to get the best player available with needs into consideration, if that makes sense. That's always been kind of my philosophy. That would be my philosophy if I was an NFL team. It's interesting. Chris Sims was talking about this. Teams don't always do best player available, even though that's what everyone says, best player available, best player. Sometimes they will stretch a little bit and take a guy that they need. But yeah. But yeah, I've kind of shifted to just take the quarterback. In years past, a few years ago, I would be saying if I was the Titans, I'd take Abdul Carter, I'd take Travis Hunter, maybe even Mason Graham. But in this case, they'll take their looks like not even looks like it looked like Adam Schefter, or it sounds like Adam Schefter has confirmed the Titans will take. Are going to take Cam Ward. Have informed Cam Ward that they're going to take him number one. Colston Loveland too. Yeah, it's no surprise that you're hearing a lot of NFL teams really do like Colston Loveland. Sounds like they're just as high on him as Tyler Warren. I think that we kind of had that shift for a little bit where a lot of people saying that Tyler Warren is quite a bit better than Colston Loveland, and Colston Loveland is not, maybe now that the NFL, or maybe there's a little bit more of a gap. I think now it's getting closer, or now we're kind of as we get closer to the draft, it's kind of coming back full circle. We're kind of deciding that they're a little bit closer. But yeah, I think bottom line, I think the NFL people really like Loveland and really like Tyler Warren. Yeah, I'm going to wrap at that. Thanks for tuning into the Brad Parshall Show. Make sure to stay tuned for more episodes and clips. Till next time, peace.